Hey there, welcome back to Marketing Matchmaker. I am super excited about today's episode. I have Sasha Eburn with me today, and Sasha is a badass, no nonsense VA coach. She's based in the Gold Coast of Australia and works with clients all over the world. I have to say, I love being able to talk to people all over the world. Early on, she hit a roadblock in her professional life and really struggled to move past it. It was only after she began to adopt the techniques her coach showed her that she began to see the benefits. And now, after enjoying 20 years of business management in the corporate world, followed by managing her own successful virtual assistant business, she wants to utilize her experience and expertise to provide a service to those starting out in the field or wanting to upsell. And with that, she shares her proven methods and strategies that helps VAs take their business to the next level. Welcome to the show, Sasha. I'm so glad to have you today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. So, we're going to just ask you a really easy question to start off. Who you are, what you do,
Great.
who you serve. While I love reading people's bios, I also love them having the ability to just tell us about what they do.
Sure. Sure. Sasha Eben, as you said, I am a virtual assistant coach, and I turned my love to coaching a couple of years back after the success of my own virtual assistant business that kind of just happened. I was a casualty of COVID. I worked in the hotel industry, and we were the first hotel to become one of the quarantine hotels in the country. So
Oh my.
that was kind of, yeah, the end of it. And, we all thought it was going to be very short lived. We'd be back. And then years just went on and on and on. Anyway, I had a year of in and out of random jobs because I couldn't just sit there waiting for the hotel industry to pick back up. And it was actually, I went and met with an old acquaintance in a park because you couldn't go into the cafes at the time. And she told me what she was doing. And she said that she was a virtual assistant and she'd come from the hotel industry. And I had no idea what a virtual assistant was. And she kind of added me to a few Facebook groups. And I was just like, oh, just kind of looking there in the background and in and out of different jobs, and ended up being in this job that I was bored. And I was just like, what would it hurt just to jump on and have a look? And this one day that it was a bad day in the 9 to 5, that I found about 10 leads that I could apply for. So I set my business up, I did all the legalities, created a website in a couple of hours. And within 24 hours, I had my first client.
That's impressive right
And then
there.
within, yeah, it just kind of happened. And then I spent the next week doing both, working with one client and doing my 9 to 5, and realized that there was all these other opportunities. I kept on having to take toilet breaks to go and speak to potential new clients. And then I just kind of thought, what if I just had all of the other hours in the day and I didn't have to come to this office that I hated coming to,
Yeah.
and just to see what would happen? And I did. And within 24 hours of that, I got my next client. And then within 3 weeks, I was fully booked.
I love that. I love that story so much because I think so many virtual assistants that start out. I actually started as a virtual assistant. For those of you in the audience who don't know that, but I started out as a virtual assistant
I
20 some odd
love
years
that.
ago, before like
Yeah.
virtual assistants were kind of a thing. And so many people that start out as a virtual assistant never get fully booked out. Like they don't
Yeah.
know how to go about doing that. So tell me how you did it. Like, how did you book yourself out fully in a very short period of time?
So I'd say the number one thing was, one, I worked out where all the clients were asking for virtual assistants. So I didn't have to go and spend a lot of time learning how to do the marketing because I'd come
Right.
from a sales and events background, very minimal knowledge of marketing.
Mhm.
And I'd worked out that Facebook groups was people were already asking for support. The other thing that I did is I just connected with people.
Yes.
Is I shouted from the rooftops what I did and who I looked after, and people that I'd worked with in the past were like, "Oh, I might need a virtual assistant. I don't know what that is." So it started to become a word of mouth of people who I was connecting with. None of my friends had been a VA. Nobody knew what a VA. So once I started educating people about what this was, people started to say, oh, maybe I need a VA.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
Yeah.
then it was from referrals and word of mouth. And even to this day, for both of my businesses, 85% of business comes from Facebook groups. And
Wow.
I've worked out it's the most prominent, the easiest, the freest, because Facebook groups are free. And
Right.
that has really served me since then. But I think even still now, it's connecting. I love connecting with people. I
Yes.
love having conversations with people. And then people start recommending you.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
that I feel like is, yeah, been the
I
number
think
one.
that's the biggest thing that people forget about business is people do business with people. It's not really the big brands or it's the
Yes.
person that attracts you when it comes to doing business with you. So tell me about
Yeah,
what you're doing
100%.
now.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, I kind of worked out in the beginning that I had something unique. The fact that I'd gotten booked out so quickly. So it's just
Yes.
like, well, how can I share this knowledge? And then I was opened up, it just kind of happened organically, opened up to courses and coaches. And before I'd started, I didn't even know what a coach was. So it's just like, oh, so I can share this knowledge with people and people will pay me for my expertise. Great. Okay, cool. So I started essentially just 6 weeks showing them how to do it. And it just kind of morphed from there. And I really didn't put a whole lot of focus in. It was kind of like my side hustle to my VA business that kind of just ran. And then I thought maybe I need a coach to help me. And everyone kept on talking about NLP.
Oh,
And I was
yes.
like, what is this NLP that everyone keeps on talking about? Every business coach that I spoke to said that they were trained in NLP. And I was just like,
That's
well, if I want to
fantastic.
be like them, I have to go and find out what this is. So I go in for a free seminar and I knew the marketing director of this company and I thought it was business coaching. I went in thinking it was going to be business coaching and I signed up the same day. I'd paid in full. I'd been saving up because I knew that I needed something else. And by gosh, was it so much more than that?
It is. It is.
It
It is so
it
much more.
changed everything.
It absolutely does.
Absolutely everything. I Like I said, I didn't know what to expect. I came out a totally different person. I even in the classroom, I'd signed up for Master NLP Coach because I was just like, like I can't stop. I have to keep going. And I guess for people that, I know that you're an NLP Master Coach as well, but for
Yeah,
anyone that isn't, it what I really learned was to actually value myself, to trust myself, to knew that I'd actually had something special to deliver to the world.
absolutely.
So that was, yeah, it was really like a 6 month journey of that, knowing that I could charge more, that I was worth more. And then I went and invested in a business coach that had the strategy. So I
Nice.
managed to partner them together. And of course, she was an NLP coach as well. And I find it now very hard not to work with a coach, no matter where they are, business coach or whatever, that isn't NLP trained. And then the following year, I went from one-to-one coaching to one-to-many. And then
Nice.
about 6 months after that, I went all in on coaching as well. And it just really highlighted that it's my soul's purpose. Like, this
Yeah,
is why I'm here. I'm here to help women, break through all of the limiting beliefs and just know that they can create whatever they want to create. And if they want an amazing life for themselves, for their children, if I can show them the way to do that, that's what I'm meant to do.
I love that so much. And yes, for again, I NLP is a complete it has while it has stuff to do with business because it teaches you how people think.
Yep.
It also has nothing to do with business because it completely breaks you down to the core of who you are and then rebuilds you back up into
Yep.
really owning who you are. So I love the kind of journey you went on to get to this point in your coaching career. So strategy wise, because you hired that business coach who helped you with strategy to get your coaching business off the ground, what did that look like
Yes.
for you?
That was really, I guess you'd put it down to marketing.
Yeah,
That was really what I learned, that you
yeah,
can't just throw something at the wall and hope it sticks. There
True.
is a strategy for everything in business. I felt like I'd already mastered the strategy on how to secure clients in the VA space, but securing clients in the coaching space, very
Completely
different.
different.
A lot
Mhm.
higher, a lot higher tickets. So taking them on that buying journey is very different to, okay, I'm going to pay you, $500 a week for
Right.
VA services. Paying somebody that's, when they need to see the value to know that they're going to get an ROI from coaching, it's a different journey. And, learning about Facebook ads, learning about funnels, automating business so we're not working 24/7,
Yeah,
all of those bits and pieces put together has really allowed the business to scale, has allowed the business to grow without me being at my desk
that's
all
awesome.
of the time. So, having automated funnels where leads come through and even payments come through from clients for a lower ticket
Right.
self-paced course, total game changer. Because then I can spend my time showing up in the life coaching with the people that need the support on a day-to-day basis. So it's allowed me to step into what I really want, whereas before I just would have been sat here at the nitty-gritty of the business.
Yeah, I love that because it does. I don't think people realize how much having a really good marketing strategy can pivot the growth of your business and really dialing
Yeah.
that in. So, along the way, what was your biggest mistake when it came to growing your coaching business?
I think investing in outsourcing tasks that I didn't understand myself.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm all for outsourcing, obviously coming
Yes.
from being a virtual assistant and, you know, whether you're going to spend just, your time on $100 task or $5 tasks, that's important. However, outsourcing things like Facebook ads or social media strategy, when I didn't fully understand them myself, came at a big cost when the
Yeah.
results were not there.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, I didn't know that the results weren't there. And then the more and more I've learnt in this space, the more I've learnt that I was paying all this money for ads and not getting the results that I wanted. Same with social media strategy. The
Yeah.
second I've now taken it back and I've learnt it myself, the results are so much further along than paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for somebody to outsource them.
Yeah.
Now, the fact that I understand them and I understand where the results will be, I am comfortable to outsource them because I know what to look for and I know the results that should be expected so I can get the ROI that I need.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing. It's not so much when it comes to your marketing, whether it's ads or funnels or whatever, it's not so much that you need to know how to do every step. It's you need to be able to look at your data and understand what's going on in it so you can make a pivot,
Yes.
whether that's your targeting or your messaging or whatever it is. If you're just going by an agency or outsourcing of any kind, what they tell you, they're always going to tell you things are going in the right direction. Always, because that's their
Always.
job is to, even if it's not getting you the ROI that you're necessarily looking for. I think that's the biggest um, myth in the agency world is that
Yeah.
people assume that the agencies know how to get you results. Realistically,
Yeah.
they might, but you need to know really quick whether they are or not.
Yeah. And I think when you're getting some results that you potentially didn't have before, then you're like, okay, that's great. I'm getting new clients. However, now understanding the potential, we could have in that entire time got a lot more clients if we were doing
Right.
it right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah,
Big
it's
learning
more a
curve.
matter of knowing what to do right or what's going right, what's going wrong than it is really getting in there
Yes.
the nitty-gritty of how to set something up. And I say that mainly for
Yeah.
my audience members out there who aren't as technologically inclined as Sasha, because if you missed at the beginning of the podcast where she said she built her website in a couple hours, obviously she's technologically inclined. If
Uh,
you're not, if
yeah.
technology scares you, outsourcing is great as long as you understand what they're doing and why they're doing it. so that you can be that CEO of your business?
Yeah, I definitely had a head start when it comes to tech. My dad was a software consultant, so there was always,
Nice.
3 to 4 computers there at one time, different computers. I did learn to create websites when I was 13, back when it used to be code. Not that I know code now. So, yes, I probably did have a bit of an advantage starting. I probably started using computers from about the age of 4, so was
That's
very, very blessed in the
fantastic.
tech side of things.
So, so we talked about what you did wrong. What was your most successful
Yes.
strategy on your journey in your coaching business?
I think just being real with people and not sugarcoating it.
Yeah,
Really, and just sharing the ups and the downs of my journey and not saying it's going to be, all rose colored glasses.
right?
It's here is what happened to me. Here's the bad things that have happened to me. Here are the friendships that were lost. Here are the clients that were stolen. This is the reality of business. And since I added my NLP qualifications, I can actually help people get from here to here because I'm giving them the resources to break through those limiting beliefs.
Right.
Whereas looking back on my journey, if I didn't have that, I think it would have been really surface level
Yeah.
results.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're talking about money mindset or getting the ideal clients and not just settling, it is about taking those, getting those clients at, $40, $50 where a lot of them start to within a couple of weeks of working with me, being able to have the confidence to show up and charge $85, $95 per hour. It's a really big difference. And I am a firm believer that it would have taken much longer to get to those results if I didn't have that NLP training to be able to support them in that, because really that comes down to them as a person, and
Mhm.
everybody is going to take a different journey. And I think without having that information and that knowledge, it would have been really hard to get them to $85 and be able to get those wins quicker than
Right.
if I didn't have that.
Yeah, especially with your target market, right? VAs, oftentimes the biggest problem in the VA industry is undercharging. People don't charge
Yes.
enough for the value they're providing. And that oftentimes comes down to self-worth, limiting beliefs, imposter syndrome, whatever you want to call it. All of those things for your specific target audience is huge. Honestly, I think it's huge for every business owner, especially female business owners.
Yeah.
We tend to undervalue
Yes.
ourselves more than anyone
Yes.
else does. So yeah, I love your story and your journey. So, for those that are out in the audience that might be a VA looking for some help, what's a good way for them to contact you?
Yeah, that's a great question. Mainly on Instagram. I kind of sit there every day having a chat to VAs all around the world.
Awesome.
It's just Sasha Eburn _ SASHAEBURNE _ I'm always happy for anyone to drop in and have a chat.
Nice. Fantastic. For those of you that are looking to connect with Sasha, all of these links will be in the show notes. So, head over there and connect. If you had one piece of advice to give the audience before we wrap up, what would that be?
Before you start, get really clear on what you want and really clear on the people that you want to work with. Don't just work with people for the sake of working with them, because it's not fun. Let's be honest. Find the people that are aligned with your values and then respect the work that you do.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for hopping on a call with me today, Sasha. And for everyone else out there, I will talk to you on the next episode. Thank you for listening to the Marketing Matchmaker podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love to hear your feedback. Please head over to Apple, iTunes, and leave a review so we can hear from you. And if you are a coach, consultant, or online course creator who are looking to grow your business, increase your income, and scale your impact, connect with me at yourmarketingmatchmaker.com. I look forward to hearing from you.